We went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up.
So Italy's Giovanni De Carolis announced himself as part of this intriguing, competitive, fiery 12-stone pack early this year by capturing the WBA belt on German soil. Now he's back to face another local man for the first defense in the shape of the undefeated Tyron Zeuge. It's another interesting matchup in this super middleweight division. They touch gloves. The red of the unbeaten Zeuge challenging and hoping to become the youngest German ever to hold a version of a world title. He's 24. De Carolis 31, more experienced. He's been down the road on a completely different journey. 31st outing. He's won 24 and lost 6, but he's learnt from those defeats and he's turned himself into a decent operator. How good is Zeuge?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, Adam. We don't know. Callum Smith was saying he knew him from the amateurs, that he was a talented kid. You know, as a professional, he's been brought along nicely. Sauerland and how to develop and bring a fighter through, but he hasn't really had a gut check, as Judge Groves refers to. He's relatively inexperienced. On the flips, on the other side of that, you've got the Italian world champion De Carolis. He's you know, he's very seasoned. He's had a very real career in terms of he's had his losses, he's had his setbacks, he's regrouped, he's learnt, he's come again, and now he's world champion. So, you know, it's a real two fighters are very different, have had two very different careers, and you know, we really don't know what's going to happen here. I think it's a 50-50 fight, if I'm honest.
Styles blending well already. Fascinating gel, a mix of the more orthodox Zeuge, but the effective, tall De Carolis was trying the uppercut early, just trying to unhinge Zeuge, the youngster, who's got all that technical ability, really good amateur in multi-nations, European Championships. He was in the Worlds under-19 in Baku. Plenty of pedigree. Will he need to call on that? The big long arms of De Carolis, who showed against Feigenbutz how steady he was.
Yeah, he looks the stiffer hitter of the two as well. Zeuge switched it from orthodox to southpaw several times already in the first round, but without really doing anything.
Blood to his nose already for Zeuge. It's all these little things that he's going to find out for the first time at this level. De Carolis, who's shared a ring with Arthur Abraham, who's had those 2 fights with Feigenbutz, who's overcome obstacles through his career, and he won't want to give up this title that he's fought so long and hard for. It's a good start from De Carolis, this. Just a little bit disorganized, Zeuge. Welcome to world title level, Tyron Zeuge. An interesting 3 minutes and an interesting partnership he's got here with the WBA light heavyweight champion Jürgen Bremer, who's looking to defend his title possibly against Nathan Cleverly in the autumn. They've been sparring together. He's the lead cornerman. I don't remember a situation like that with a current fighter.
No, not really. I know Robert McCracken did his toe in training while he was still fighting. He was working with David Walker, Leo O'Reilly, Lee Meager, a few fighters back then when he was still fighting Howard Eastman and Keith Holmes.
Yep. Jamie Moore had retired though before he trained you.
Yeah, Jamie was retired a few years before when we started working together.
But a world champion training a world title challenger. Terrific, isn't it? The red trunks of Zeuge turns southpaw. Let's see already De Carolis landing more on the stats. I thought he took that opener.
Yeah, I gave the first round to De Carolis. It was close, there wasn't a lot in it, but he just landed the heavier, cleaner shots for me.
Good jabs though from Zeuge. He's going to have to grow into this quickly. Certainly got the technique. The Sauerlands talk about his good eyes, his decent ability. Bit of a wild boy out of the ring, mind you. Jürgen Bremer's had his scrapes in that department as well, so maybe they suit each other.
Yeah, maybe Jürgen Bremer's quieting down, and he can use that positive influence on Zeuge.
Just complaining about heads bumping. He's had to shift a lot of weight, Zeuge. I mean, it's come early, this chance. I think they felt Feigenbach would have too much for De Carolis when they matched them together for the title, and the second time, the rematch. It's better from Zeuge. Little shot on the inside was cute, but there's just an authority about De Carolis, a sturdiness, a steadiness. Can he come on from being champion? Unexpected, maybe, but they can grow. We remember the likes of Steve Robinson, the Cinderella story, when he took the world featherweight title at short notice and then had umpteen defences, didn't he?
Yeah, very much so. He seized his opportunity and went on and had a good long reign, losing eventually to Naz. But I mean, they say a fighter, when he becomes world champion, he goes up 10-15% overnight. So we'll see if De Carolis, that happens with De Carolis here.
Certainly got the Italians over in numbers, as we saw during the anthem.
Yeah, there's plenty of patriotism there, with their hands on the hearts, waving the flag. They're certainly making their presence felt.
But this is the home city and territory of Tyron Zeuge. In this match-smelling Halle. It's set up for him. Good hand speed and a closer session.
Yeah, and he seems to bounce between southpaw and orthodox quite naturally.
Both missing wildly there, but referee Russell Mora hasn't had to intervene at all in the first 6 minutes. It's been nice and clean and plenty of respect.
Sehr gut, Tieflüftung, Tieflüftung. Ja, Waden, Kümmern.
There is Jürgen Bremer. He had a better second than a first, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, both rounds very close. I just thought that De Carolis was starting more positively, and I just felt that Zeuge was landing the better work in that round. But both rounds were very close. They could have gone either way. But I've got it around a piece so far.
Comes out with the right hand. De Carolis defending this WBA World Super Middleweight title for the first time in his 31st professional outing in the yellow trunks from Rome. And Tyron Zeuge from Berlin in fight number 19. He turned professional only in March 2012, so 4 years of experience in the paid ranks, but many as an amateur. Will that hold him in decent enough stead? Did have a good win over Nikola Sejloka, who Callum Smith will remember, over 12 rounds in April last year. That's probably his best result on paper, and he's coming off a victory over Ruben Acosta. But is that good enough to beat De Carolis? I mean, it was pretty close, the odds beforehand. I think Zeuge a slight favourite, maybe because of home advantage, but it's one of those. It's a pick-em, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think De Carolis has the edge in power, and I think Zeuge certainly has the edge in speed and movement.
Body shot from De Carolis was a good one. Just sunk it under that right elbow of Zeuge, and a big right hand as well. Switching it up nicely, De Carolis with accuracy, going for the uppercut as well.
Yeah, he's landed that right hook around the gloves several times in this round. Good punch for De Carolis. Looks like there's quite a lot of weight behind it as well. There he goes for it again. Good counter though by Zeuge. Good hand speed there from him.
Yeah, lovely shot from the German. And this is already, Matthew, warming up into quite a nice battle, isn't it?
Yeah, every round's close. Like I said, I went one apiece, and this is a good round so far. Both guys having their moments.
So right hand skimmed off the head there from De Carolis.
I like the way Zeuge's letting his shots go and then moving off either side. He's not staying still. He's not there for the counters.
Yeah, he's just trying to befuddle De Carolis, isn't he? Confuse him, give him plenty to think about, because he's quite straight, De Carolis, orthodox, as he tries to close the range down on Zeuge. That's what he wants to do, isn't it? He doesn't want Zeuge moving around him, flitting around, using that foot movement, maybe the extra skills, but look at them go toe-to-toe here in the third round. This warming up could be an absolute cracker, this fight.
Yeah, could go that way. Good round so far, good exchange there. Like I say, Zeuge with the better hand speed. De Carolis with probably the edge in power.
Good right hand from De Carolis. It's a case of what you like so far. Rounds have been close, action's good. Good fight so far, this, for the WBA World Super Middleweight title. Giovanni De Carolis from Rome and Tyron Zeuge, not household names, either of them. Certainly back in Britain. But this super middleweight division alive and well. The Super Six may be long gone, but how much talent we have. Badu Jack, the WBC champion. James DeGale, the IBF WBO. Gilberto Ramirez. We've still got Felix Sturm as the super champion. Obviously, we wait news about that possible drug infringement after he dethroned Fedor Chudinov. And then we've got Giovanni De Carolis. Don't forget George Groves, Callum Smith, and others. It really is a fantastic picture. And Arthur Abraham just announced himself as a possible part of it in the fight before. I mean, these two, I don't think were even in the top 10 back in the studio, were they?
No, neither guy was. You know, but he has a version of the world title, you know, so it makes him relevant in the division. It was a great win against Fagan Buster to pull the win out in the 11th round. He's in here against Zeuge, who's a top prospect of the Sauerlands. Probably unexpected world title opportunity for him, but he seems confident of living up to it.
He sprung out the pack, hasn't he? De Carolis, what an opportunity for him. The Italians haven't had a great deal of success in recent times. I was speaking to Christian Kirky recently, and you know they're looking out for big wins. A time when the Italians really were a force to be reckoned with. So De Carolis will want to keep hold of this title, not only personally but also for his country. And Zeuge back to orthodox. Looks full of fight and fire and talent too. Swinging, cuffing shots, better from Zeuge there. A shake of the head from De Carolis. But Zeuge turned his man well, and now he's got centre ring.
Yeah, another close round, Adam. Both guys having their moments, epic action, ebbing and flowing. Difficult to separate them.
Just missing a bit here, De Carolis, and he's getting frustrated. And it could be Zeuge's movement and possible added boxing ability. If he can stick to the tactics that Jürgen Brehm has put down for him in the game plan, that could see him right. But that right hand from De Carolis, it's nip and tuck. It really is so far. A very hard fight to score.
Yeah, like you say, the action just keeps ebbing and flowing. Both guys having their moments. No one really got a foothold in the fight yet.
Looks so young, doesn't he, Zeuge? He'll be learning round after round here. The jumping levels as a professional, but he settled okay, and it's a good one. Well, during that break I was just looking online to see the opinion. It's all subjective, of course, but people are saying Zeuge with the faster hands, De Carolis more powerful shots. Cards could be all over the place if this goes the full 12 rounds, and you are finding it very tough to score.
Very difficult. I've got it 2 apiece, but I mean, you could have it 4 one way and 4 the other. It's that kind of a fight that every round very close.
First third was certainly entertaining. Here we are in the 5th. Remember the yellow or gold trunks of Giovanni De Carolis from Viterbo, just outside of Rome in Italy. The taller man at 6'1.5 inches. And Tyron Zeuge from Berlin. He's won all 18 so far, but not at this level. The Saudans have thrown him in. They had the options after Feigenbach was beaten, and they brought De Carolis back to Germany. But this is happy hunting ground. He won't mind it.
No, definitely not. It's his new home. He's physically strong, De Carolis, and that right hook he throws, he's got a bit of weight behind it, and if he throws it up the middle as well, nice. But Zeuge's showing good movement, letting his shots off and turning his guy, getting back into the centre of the ring.
I think De Carolis had the better start. I gave Zeuge the last one. Good shots here as they both throw the leather.
Yeah, good exchange. Zeuge landing some fast combinations, and then De Carolis landing a heavy right-hand counter, and then again Zeuge having the last word in that exchange.
He picked up earlier, might be the naturally bigger puncher, De Carolis. 12 knockouts in his 24 wins, 10 knockouts for Zeuge, but at a much more preliminary level. Looks hard, doesn't he, De Carolis?
Yeah, he has a you know, strong mental fortitude. He has a steely look about him. The fact that he hasn't had anything easy, he's had to go abroad to win his world title, and he's here again now defending it. You know, he's got that character inside him. You can see he's got mental toughness, and he'll need it again tonight.
Well, he's rebounded well. In his 8th fight, he lost to Max Bursak in 8 rounds in the Ukraine, having won his first 7. Went back on the winning trail, then lost an Italian middleweight title. And then in Denmark to Lelenga Mock, who was a good fighter, lost about 3 of 6, and it looked like he was going nowhere. Went the distance with Arthur Abraham, and since then has been finding real form. Had a win over Gerard Ajetovic, who was based in Liverpool for a while. He was a decent fighter.
Yeah, I beat him myself, Adam.
I think I remember him on your slate, on your record. He was good, wasn't he?
He was good. He could punch. Dangerous guy.
Don't know how he found himself in Liverpool.
No idea.
Like Choi from Mongolia going to Jack Dougherty's stable. Interesting stories in boxing. They always find them. This is one. Jürgen Bremer alongside Tyron Zeuge.
Another difficult round to score, Adam. You know, I think Zeuge with his movement, he turned him a few times, landing the flasher of the combination. So maybe his round, but then as you see, De Carolis there landing the heavier shots.
Zeuge's warming in to the fight. Just have the more accurate shots at times, but it is mightily close. I've got it level, but I think by a completely different way to you. It's one of those. Judges from Spain, America and Finland at ringside. Remember, De Carolis the champion, but Zeuge the home fighter. Not that I'm saying anything. You've had a bit of that through your career, haven't you? Remember one German experience?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Well, I thought you won that. So did you.
So did I. I think most people watching it thought it as well, but there you go. That's the way it goes.
Probably the closest you came, wasn't it?
Yeah,
becoming a world
definitely,
champion
definitely.
against Felix Sturm. You can see there the punches landed, the quality on the computer with De Carolis. I don't think that tells the whole story. Zeuge is certainly getting more of a foothold in the fight now. Although I'm not sure he wants to be there right in front of De Carolis. It's the boxing movement that he needs, isn't it? The cute skills, the orthodox to southpaw. Otherwise, he's just going to be right in front of De Carolis. Time called by Russell Mora here. What's he going to do? He's going to take a point off. Use of the head. That's what he wants in there, doesn't it? De Carolis, a bit rougher. The man's strength.
That's it. He wants to make it a physical fight. He's the stronger man. He's the tougher guy. Probably definitely the heavier hitter. He wanted a physical fight. the more grueling, the better for him. But then Zeuge, he wants to keep moving, keep boxing, keep turning his guy, using his speed, his better skills.
The hand speed, of Zeuge, but the big power shot with the right from De Carolis. Tries the body as well. Good tactics from De Carolis if they come off. He's tucking those elbows in, Zeuge, and he's going for it himself, opening up a bit more. I mean, sparring with Jürgen Bremer, the light heavyweight world champion, has got to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he throws some flashy combinations, some quick little bursts, Zeuge, but not too many of them getting through or scoring. De Carolis landing the more, the scoring punches, the heavier shots, the cleaner punches.
Will it come down to who's in better shape physically?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we know that De Carolis can grind out a decision over 12 hard rounds. We don't know if Zeuge can do that. We know he's been he's been the distance in fights, but we don't know if he's never really been in a tough fight. So, if it does become that type of fight, then from an experience point of view, we'd have to favour De Carolis.
Some neat work about 20 seconds or so ago from De Carolis, and he just stuck his tongue out at him as if to say, you're not bothering me.
No, he's got to be careful with the heads though, De Carolis. He's had his final warning. The next time they come together, we could get a point off.
They're really opening up though. Shows what it means to them, this WBA title. Well, the crowd are happy for their man Tyron Zeuge, but are the judges? Just went off the boil a little, didn't he? Zeuge.
Yeah, I thought he allowed De Carolis back in that round. I think he landed the cleanest shots. He was making the fight. He was pushing forward, and I just thought he landed the more cleaner punches in that round.
Klatsch nicht immer ab, hast du gehört? Brauchst du nicht bei denen. Warum? Wieder konzentriert deine Beine seitlich raus, locker sein. Ja. Machst du sehr gut, ne? Schön konzentriert bleiben aber, ne? Ja. Ne? Machst du sehr gut, komm, Digga.
Second half of this WBA 12-stone title fight, and it's been a really intriguing one, a good watch so far. And at the halfway stage, I think, what have you got? One in it or level? Very close. I've
got it dead level, Adam. But it's every round's difficult to score. I just think that in that round, De Carolis, he landed the cleanest shots, the heavier shots, and he just looked the stronger of the two guys. And I thought he landed the more scoring punches.
Good clash for the fans. Really enjoying it.
I like the way Zeuge turns him when he gets, backed up on the ropes. He's done that a few times now. Lets his shots go and just turns De Carolis.
It's good boxing brain. Tyron Zeuge, honed in that amateur system for many years. Looked a real puncher when he turned over. Stopped his first three quickly. Not just to settle down though. And it's boxing ability that's going to win in this if he can. But De Carolis, stubborn, coming forward, determined to hang on to his belt.
Zeuge does a lot of flashy work, it's almost like shoe shining, as they call it sometimes, but he doesn't. A lot of the stuff, there's no real substance behind them, where then, De Carolis comes back and lands 3 or 4 meaty punches.
It's quick raids, isn't it, with the speedier hands to the more powerful shots of the champion.
Yeah, guys do that sometimes when they nick around or they steal a fight after you, almost like, Sugar Ray Leonard against Marvin Hagler. A lot of people felt Hagler won the fight because he was doing the more work, landing, with more consistency and the more scoring punches, but Sugar Ray Leonard was landing the eye-catching shots. He'd land the burst, he'd move, but a lot of people call that shoe shining, where it looks the part, but they're not really landing with any effect. But, on a lesser level, that's what's going on here.
If you had to call a winner right now, who'd it be?
I would probably go with De Carolis, even though Zeuge just lands a lovely right hand then as he turned him and jumped on him. But
that was to trip you up, because it's one of those fights, isn't it?
It's one of those fights, ebbs and flows, and he comes back again. But I just think he's the stronger guy. He's physically strong, he's hitting harder, and for me, he's landing the better punches.
Just holds on there, Zeuge. And it could be De Carolis' experiences down the stretch. Yeah, there's the burst from Zeuge, but not really landing. De Carolis with a good punch there, and Zeuge just momentarily disorganized and nothing in those punches. Good moment here for De Carolis.
Yeah, they're the kind of combinations that if you're at the back of the arena, you think the guy's winning handily because he's throwing 5 or 6 bursts, and it looks the part, but he didn't. What did he really land then? Nothing clean. Then De Carolis comes back and lands 2 or 3 heavy blows.
I wonder how George is seeing things back in the studio.
Yeah, I think De Carolis is now starting to find his own. That was a strong round for him. He's starting to push Zeuge back. Zeuge's coming forward with nice flashy combinations, but he's pulling out in a straight line. He comes in on angles but pulls back in a straight line. That's when De Carolis is flying forward. He's landing the slightly heavier shots. I think he's starting to impose himself in this fight. His physical presence Zeuge's feeling it. He's feeling the pressure. If he carries on like this, he's going to become more and more De Carolis' fight.
Thanks, George, stamping his authority. De Carolis, he's been here before in these 12-round fights. Ozjatovic, Feigenbutz, Abraham, and for Zeuge, it is a real step up. He showed skills, he showed ability that he can cope at this level, but can he sustain it, Matt, for the entire championship rounds?
Well, that's what we need to see now. I mean, it's a close fight. I've got De Carolis is just slightly ahead, but he really needs to come out now and get back into the fight. Zeuge, he can't let De Carolis push on from here. He's the physically stronger man. He's the more experienced guy, but Zeuge needs to stay with him. He can't let De Carolis pull away here now.
Watch your head, brother. Watch your head.
Burst again from Zeuge. Samora saying watch your heads, and he goes in again. De Carolis, remember, he's on the last warning there, and a point off here or there could be crucial in a fight like this. But he's certainly imposing himself. He's certainly driving Zeuge back, and if Zeuge can't move and he can't utilize those legs and get those shots off, then you've got to feel it's going to be a very tough last few rounds for him. But if he can keep the distance. Good right hand from De Carolis, just beginning to wear him down, Zeuge.
Yeah, Zeuge's expending a lot of energy. He's moving, he's throwing bursts, he's putting a lot into them, but he's not really getting anything back for it. He's not really making a dent in De Carolis. It might look eye-catching from back in the stand, but he's not taking anything away from De Carolis. He needs to get his respect, stand his ground a little bit.
These are the thudding shots, some getting through, some not, but just looking tired there. Zeuge hanging on. I think this inexperience might cost him. A good right hand and a body shot, and he's beginning to up the tempo here, De Carolis. Looking almost a size above him, doesn't he? Strong, broad shoulders, leaning all over him. He might not worry about that use of the head if he can just get close and zap the energy and the snap of Zeuge, who's looking out of the ring for help.
I think a lot of time in fights where it's speed v strength, you can almost break it down into 2 halves. The faster guy has the advantage early on until the other guy can get to grips with it, can start timing him. But as both guys get tired, physical strength comes into play in the second half of the fight.
Good body shot there from De Carolis. And did Zeuge feel it? He's just shaking his arm as well. There are 1 or 2 distress signals coming out from the young German. He might really have to bite down on his gum shield. He's going to need Jürgen Bremer now and all that experience in the corner to try and get him freshened up, because it's going against him now. A big crowd at the Max Schmeling enjoying this.
Yeah, good right hand there from Zeuge, but I just think that Carolis is walking forward now. He's using his physical strength. He's starting to bully him a bit on the inside. For me, Zeuge needs to gain his respect again.
What would you be saying in there?
Yeah, I think he needs to be conservative with his energy. You know, he throws 5 or 6 punches, then jumps off to the side. It's expending a lot of energy, and he's not really getting anything for it. He's not scoring punches, or he's not making a dent in De Carolis. So he needs to be, he needs to utilise his energy best he can.
So is Giovanni De Carolis forging himself into a lead here. 4 rounds to go. These the crucial rounds that the Italian has done before. And one 12-round performance against Nicolas Zeuge for the young German Tyron Zeuge. Is that enough? His punches don't look to be carrying that weight anymore, Zeuge. He's not flicking between southpaw and orthodox. He's leaning a bit on De Carolis. There are certainly signs of tiredness.
Yeah, I mean, he started this round positively enough. The few fast flurries there, you know, landed a couple of clean shots. But he just needs to be able to sustain it. You know, we're in round 9 now. It's been a good fight so far, and De Carolis, the stronger guy, looking to plough forward.
Good punches from Zeuge, but De Carolis sucks it up, soaks them. And that defeat all those years ago to Max Bursak back in 2008, the one time he's been stopped inside the scheduled distance, feels a long time ago. That chin looks pretty solid now.
Yeah, good work there from Zeuge, though. Some flashy combinations, nice punches. Now he's gone back southpaw.
What he needs to do, keep the hands flowing and the movement. De Carolis just wearing him down. Flitting around Zeuge. Certainly got the edge in hand speed, and certainly some of these raids effective. And that's good from Zeuge. Beautiful shot.
Probably his best punch of the fight there, Adam.
One of his best rounds as well. But De Carolis comes back. Really put a lot into this, Zeuge. Trying to turn the fight back around in his favour. It's all about how you score the first 6 as well, because some could have Zeuge in front, some could have it level like you, some could have De Carolis. I think De Carolis has definitely won the last couple.
Yeah, definitely, but got Zeuge winning this round so far. Best round of the fight for him, I think.
De Carolis comes back with some headshots, though. There's a cut as well in there. There's blood. Good combination from the German. He's really trying everything. He's doing it the macho way as well now, Zeuge. He's standing with De Carolis.
But I think he needs to do that, Adam. I think he needs to gain his respect. He's good boxing and moving, but you can't have someone just walking through you either.
Big right hand from De Carolis, but it's too little, too late. This is Zeuge's round. In another mini switch, shift in the plot, seesaw battle. How's Callum got it back home?
I think the fight's still there to win for both men. I thought that was a good round for Zeuge, but I've still got De Carolis just the edge. I think he's just the flashy eye-catching stuff's coming from Zeuge, but De Carolis is making him fight his fight. He's just making him work, and though it's a bit messy at times, he's just taking him out of his rhythm. And I think Zeuge's got to get back to his boxing, but I think he's looking to tire a bit. And although he's done the rounds before, they were in pretty one-sided fights where he had it all his own way, where he's not getting that tonight. And I think the longer the fight's going, you've got to fancy the Italian.
Thanks, Callum. It's really all there in the melting pot, this. Whether you've got Zeuge maybe narrowly in front, De Carolis 1 or 2 up. Some would have it level. It's all about the 3 judges. Juan Manuel Garcia Reyes from Spain, Levi Martinez from America, and the Finnish judge Erkki Menanen. I think I saw the draw at 20-1 beforehand. I wonder if there's any smart money there. You've got De Carolis just up, so have I, but you don't know how the judges are seeing it.
No, a lot of those rounds are close. Like I say, I've got De Carolis a round up, but I gave Zeuge that last round. I thought it was the best round of the fight. So we're seeking to you know, push on from there and take this round as well and push on and win the fight. But it's all to play for.
The neat combinations and the slicker skills of Zeuge and the hardened attacks of Giovanni De Carolis. Oh, could there be a problem here? Again, another warning. Well, he's giving him another one. He said he'd take a point off a few rounds ago, but he's actually sort of having a word with both of them.
Yeah, I think in fairness, it's that type of fight. Heads are going to come together, so I think it would have been harsh if he took a point then.
Zeuge really putting plenty in, but a good body shot from De Carolis again. Trying to slow the advancing German who switched tactics. Hand speed still there. And look at this as they go toe-to-toe. It's been a terrific watch, this fight.
Very good fight, much better fight than I anticipated.
Me too. You never know sometimes when they're unheralded, there's so much at stake. The champion desperate to hold on to the belt that he's worked so hard for, and the young challenger in his home city determined not to let his family and friends down on a surprise big night.
I think fatigue kicking in a little bit now. They both kind of almost had a mutual arrest there. There's some good hooks going in from De Carolis, landing heavy right hooks around the ears again. Good, but back comes Zeuge.
He's kept that hand speed, good uppercut as well. De Carolis back with a right. He taps his gloves as if to say, come on. Now this was the stage where he really started to turn the screws on Feigenbutts.
Well, he's landed some good uppercuts in this round, De Carolis.
He just barged him there, and that shows the natural strength that De Carolis might have, and he's following it up with a combination. Is he going to prove a thorn in the Sauerland side once again, Giovanni De Carolis?
You know, a very close round again, Adam. Probably De Carolis is just edging it now for me. But oh, good.
Oh, they're swinging. Wonderful shots, both of them. But De Carolis having the last word. And Zeuge spinning round, coming back with a combination. What a super session of boxing this is. The 10th here in Berlin.
Credit to both men, laying it on the line now.
Seems to have woken De Carolis up as well. Just, oh, he's hurt here. Zeuge, end of the round. Badly hurt, wincing in pain. Is it his shoulder, the arm? The arm's gone. Something is amiss with Tyron Zeuge. I think the shoulder might have come out. Yep, they're working on it right now. We've seen that before. British title fight when Danny Williams unbelievably won against Mark Potter when his shoulder went out. We've seen it with Carl Thompson over the years, popping out with Dean Francis too. It's a terribly difficult injury. Even Anthony Ogogo, who was on the card earlier tonight, had a problem and had to fight on with a real problematic shoulder. But let's have a look. He threw the left hand. Was that the moment? Something went. He just swung a right there. See if you can have a look, Matthew, and tell us.
Yeah, it's hard to see, Adam, but I do think it's the shoulder, yeah. Definitely uncomfortable. Something's happened. I don't think it's dislocated, but he might have pulled something.
Can he use it effectively? He's got 6 minutes to get through. And more importantly, maybe, was that De Carolis' round anyway?
Yeah, I probably just would have gone with De Carolis then. I thought he won the round. He finished strong. But again, it's a close fight and a very good fight.
I think he's hampered here. Let's see if he throws the left at all. Tyron Zeuge, he's showing bravery and spirit. He really wants to force a way through. I mean, he must still know that he's in the fight, and you don't know how the judges are seeing it. And although De Carolis now putting the foot on the pedal, and really applying the pressure. And this is the same round that Feigenbert's came apart. Is he going to do it again here? De Carolis. Back comes Zeuge, but De Carolis landing the heavier blows. History repeating itself, question mark.
Yeah, he's pouring under pressure now. Probably the best spell of the fight for De Carolis. Obviously Zeuge's uncomfortable with the shoulder injury.
Trying to find the energy himself, De Carolis. He must be tired too. They have really given it everything, this. What a super middleweight division. And these two guys who some people just haven't heard of have dished up an absolute belter. We were lucky enough, weren't we, the other week to see Sean Porter and Keith Thurman giving us a classic 12-rounder at welterweight. Different fight. I tell you what, this is another really good one.
That was a great fight, Thurman and Porter, but I expected it to be a great fight. I wasn't sure what to expect. I hadn't really heard much of either guy, but they're really pouring it all out here. De Carolis really laying it on, coming on strong. It's a close fight. I've got him 2 rounds up going into this round, but you know, maybe it could be 2 rounds the other way, but I'd certainly... a good combination by Zeuge, but back comes De Carolis.
He just seemed to have the last word almost. Put his glove on the canvas there, and that would have been counted. Tyron Zeuge, last 50 seconds of the 11th, it's pitter-pat punches from the German. And De Carolis trying to get him off him. It's a really good effort, this. A terrific challenge for the world title from Tyron Zeuge.
Yeah, and when fatigue kicks in at this stage of a fight, the speed is less of an advantage and physical strength comes more into play, and De Carolis is the physically stronger guy.
Interestingly, he's still got the hand speed, Zeuge, but he's just not landing enough, and De Carolis driving forward. Hampered by the injury, Zeuge, not hampered by spirit. It's a real good effort from the German, but is it another round for the Italian? He's in real pain. Real pain. And you've got to take your hat off to him.
Yeah, win, lose or draw tonight, Adam. I think he'll have gone up in a lot of people's estimations. He's proven it. As George Groves says, he's had a gut check and nothing wrong with his heart and desire here.
Jetzt kommt deine, egal was nicht, und dir tut nichts mehr wie jetzt. Hast du mir verstanden? That's the doctors. Alles super. Ja. Der dreht jetzt nochmal richtig auf. Ja? Aber schön ruhig bleiben. Jetzt geht's schön sauer. Okay? Du kriegst das Ding.
They're really motivating him in that corner. I don't think he needs any motivating. I think he's been absolutely superb tonight, Tyron Zeuge. And even if he doesn't win this world title, he will come again. No question about it. Both of them deserve huge respect. Fabulous tussle in this 12-stone division. I'm sure George and Callum back home have enjoyed it as much as we have. Matt has. De Carolis, 3 up. Is it the champion retaining his title? Or is there a last-ditch effort from Tyron Zeuge? Just hasn't had that success in the last 3 or 4 rounds. The crucial championship rounds, that's what they call them.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's very, very sharp and great movement early on. But De Carolis, the stronger guy, just using his physical strength, bullying forward. And Zeuge doesn't quite have the power to kind of keep him off. But having said that, he's turning him nicely, landing some nice combinations, playing his part in a really good fight here.
Again, watch the heads. That's all he's had to say to them, Russell Mora. And these two have just gone to war. They really have. And Zeuge especially, for the fact that he's a box mover. He was southpaw orthodox, flitting around, and he's just bit down on that gum shield and ignored whatever's wrong with his left shoulder and just got on with this and trying desperately still to win the world title. Giovanni De Carolis has been solid, not spectacular, but not wanting, and driven forward and delivered the punches when necessary. And in my book, he's done enough.
Yeah, I think so, Adam. He's just landing the cleaner shots, the heavier shots. He's dominated the sort of the ring generalmanship. He's dictated the pace a little bit. He's been the boss.
He's just shown more experience, hasn't he? In a battle of close quarters, he just that extra bit probably against Feigenbatz, the 12 rounds with Arthur Abraham. That's all it is. It's small margins as we enter the last minute of what has been a terrific fight.
Very small margins, but he's been the ring general, like you say, experience and physical strength. That's what's won it for him, for me. Still 40 seconds to go, though.
And plenty of respect, which is great. I think they will fall into each other's arms at the end of this. As De Carolis tries to make sure Zeuge, they both must be running on empty. Zeuge with a couple of shots. Interesting how the judges would have scored the first 6 rounds. He's tired now, De Carolis. He wants the bell.
This is a close round, and Zeuge landed some good shots there at the end.
Yeah, good work from Zeuge. Nice finish. Back comes De Carolis. How about this for a fabulous end to what has been a wonderful fight? People on their feet in Germany, and they both raised their arms, and as I thought, they fell straight into each other. Huge respect for the pair.
I'll probably give that round to Zeuge, but just a little bit too little too late. But you know, fairness to him for a young kid in his first world title fight, he showed great spirit there to come back fighting hard like that in that last round.
Well, both corners should be immensely proud of their charges. I'm sure a great deal of you had not heard of either Tyron Zeuge or Giovanni De Carolis before this fight. You do now. And there's Wilfried Saladin in there, congratulating the Italians. And hasn't he done well, De Carolis? For a man who was losing early on in his career, he had his chance against Arthur Abraham, but he went back to the drawing board. He came strong. He's fought in Germany 3 times in a row now. Controversial loss to Feigenbatz, stoppage win against Feigenbatz, and probably here retaining his title again.
Yeah, it's a real nice story. You know, it's great to see someone show such perseverance. They lose early on in the career, but they don't lose their belief. They stay to keep the belief. They stay working hard in the gym. They make the adjustments. They develop as a fighter, and when they get the next opportunity, they seize it with both hands.
I'm going to ask you a question here. Might be a difficult one to answer with George and Callum back in the studio, but would they beat these guys, or are these guys favourite against Callum and George?
No, for me, both Callum and George Groves beat both of these guys.
Yep,
definitely.
I'll be pleased to hear your seal of approval, because one of them will be going out with a world title. We think Giovanni De Carolis deserves it, but also that Tyron Zeuge, with a big smile, deserves huge credit, and especially with that injury problem in the last couple of rounds as well. They smile, they share stories. That's what's great about boxing, and I'm sure they'll have a beer afterwards. Callie Saladin in there. We don't know. It is, of course, in the hands of the 3 judges. Matt has it 2-up to De Carolis. Juan Manuel Garcia Reyes, Levi Martinez and Erki Menon, experienced judges from around the world. Will they be unanimous? Will they be split? Good job. Yes, they did. What's this weight like? You've been there.
Oh, torture. You start thinking, when you think you've won and then it starts taking a long time, you start thinking, God, am I getting robbed here? That's what you start thinking. But yeah, no, it's not a nice weight. Definitely not.
There's no celebrations for the Saladins, but then there wasn't when Arthur Abraham fought Paul Smith for the first time, when Abraham got it wide, and a lot of people were complaining that Paul had it much closer, maybe even got the victory, but Abraham won it wide, and the Sahlans were very confident that was the right result. They look a little nervous here. The cards are in. We're going to find out.
Meine Damen und Herren, Juan Manuel Garcia Reyes wertete 114 zu 114.
A draw.
Erkki Mironen wertete 115 zu 114.
115, 114.
Und Levi Martinez wertete 114 zu 114, damit unentschieden, Majority Draw.
A majority draw.
Alter und neuer Weltmeister aus Italien, Giovanni De Carolis.
Well, Giovanni De Carolis retains his belt, and I think that's right that he goes out with his title, but it was a majority draw on the cards. Subjective, of course. How did he score the first 6? We felt De Carolis did just enough, but the judges didn't give him the fight. They gave Zeuge, and 2 had it a draw. Interesting. Wonder what the boys back home think.